Right. For all those who have a little ambiguity, let me tell you again how this file has to be understood. So this is a file for all the major flexibilities, whether you want to be a regular student or you want to be a honors student or you want to be a honors through innovation student or experiential learning student or honors through research student, irrespective of the branch, right? So here the branches are also mentioned. So the way you need to understand this file is the category of the course is mentioned in the second column and the course buckets are mentioned in the third column. So all your courses are put into course buckets. There are course buckets from C0 to C8. Totally 9 buckets are there, right? So you need to pick a course from every bucket. So we'll get into that. So the third column is called the course bucket. The fourth column is the course code. The fifth column is the course title, the mode in which a course is being offered, the LTPS structure of the course, the credits, the contact hours, and the recommendations for each of your major flexibilities, right? So whether, depending on whether you're a regular student or an honors student or an honors through experiential learning student, you can check that corresponding page. Say, suppose I'm a honors through experiential learning student, then I would check pages from 8, 9, and 10. That's because that is where I have honors through experiential learning recommendations for the courses. If I'm an honors through innovation student, I will check from page number 11, 12, and 13, right? Similarly, if I'm an honors through research student, 14, 15, and 16. If I'm a regular student, then page number 2, 3, 4, right? So students have started asking me questions of what is that Y there. We'll get into it. So you all understood how to see the pages, which pages to see. So you don't have to see the entire document. You need to be particular about which pages that you need to see, depending on whether you're in the regular or in the honors or in the honors through experiential learning or in the honors through innovation or honors through research. I hope I'm clear. Till now, is everything clear till now? Perfect. Right. So let us try to understand the recommendations. Now, if I'm a, let us start with a regular student. If I'm a regular student, I have page number 2, 3, 4, where all my buckets from C0 to C8 are available, right? So how do I look at the courses and how do I choose them? You need to understand that ideally you have to select one course from every bucket, right? So how many buckets do we have? C0 to C8. So 9 buckets we have got. So we need to choose a course from each bucket, one course from each bucket. Can I choose more than one course from each bucket? No, you should not. You have to select only one course from each bucket, right? So let's quickly start with the first bucket, C0 bucket. How many courses do I have in C0 bucket? I only have one course. So then there is no choice. So I straight away select that course, right? That is the reason why I have shown a yes. Y there indicates yes for all the branches for C0. So that means the C0 bucket course, which is social immersive learning, which is offered in the regular mode with that LTPS structure with one credit, is recommended yes for all the branches. Do I have a choice? Is there another course in C0 bucket? There is no other course in the C0 bucket except for social immersive learning. So I have to select social immersive learning because there are no other choices. And for my major, if I belong to Triple E, then is it a yes for Triple E? Yes, it is a yes for Triple E. So I would select that course, right? So you need to have clarity on what is your major and what is your major flexibility. What is your major? Your branch is your major. Students who can't understand from the screen, make sure you download the file and you uh, open the file and see it, right? So you need to first have clarity on what is your major. Major is your branch. And what is your major flexibility? Your major flexibility is whether you're a regular student or an honors student or an honors through experiential learning student or honors through innovation student or honors through research student. So we have got 5 flexibilities, right? So 5 students should stop asking me questions while I am explaining you. Otherwise, there are chances of me getting distracted. I'll give you time to ask questions. Okay, fine. So we are in the C0 bucket. Since it is a yes for all the branches, I would choose that course because there are no choices for that course. Let me now get into the C1 bucket. So C1 bucket, I see that the category of courses are all SDC courses, skill development courses, and I see a large number of courses. Almost like I have 24 courses in that list. Out of these 24 courses, I can only select one, right? I can only select one. Now, which one do I choose? Which one do I choose? How do I select that? Now, let us go into the recommendations under the regular. So, under regular, if I'm a triple E student, where is a Y star? What is Y star? You will observe that there is both Y or a Y star, right? A Y star indicates strongly recommended. So which course is strongly recommended for triple E students? There is a course called Visualization and Modeling of Circuits in the regular mode. Since I'm a regular student, Y star here is for the regular mode, right? So regular mode, this course is the recommended course for triple E students. Let us assume I am an IoT student. Then how do I select? How do I choose? If I'm an IoT student, I should look at the column for IoT. C1 bucket, where is the Y star? Y star is given for IoT hardware programming, right? But along with that Y star, I also have other Ys listed there. That means IoT hardware programming is recommended for other branches also. So Y indicates recommended. Y star indicates strongly recommended, right? So Y star indicates strongly recommended. Y indicates recommended. Okay. Now, for each course, you will observe that there are multiple modes for the course, R, A, and E. This modes of courses sometimes is not something which is connected to your major flexibility. It is up to you to decide on how you want to study that course. But we might have provided few recommendations, right? Since here it is a regular student, that Y star is given for the regular mode, saying that for a regular student, a regular mode is more recommended. All right. Then what is A mode and what is E mode? A mode stands for advanced mode, where you'll be studying slightly more content compared to regular students. But your examinations are very much similar to how the regular students will have. Only thing is they will have additional content in the exams. Experiential learning mode, on the other hand, will have not the traditional evaluation components. They may not have the traditional evaluation components like regular exams. They might have other contemporary evaluation components, right? They might have to do a project, they might have to do a video log, they might have to do probably write an article. So depending on the course, your faculty will give you different traditional, non-traditional on them for the experiential learning mode, right? So now what are the rules for registration? Get into the page, which is your page, depending on which major flexibility you have chosen. and look at the column for your major, depending on what your branch is. And see for each bucket which course to pick. All right. So let's quickly move to from regular. Let me move to honors. So I'm showing the honors page, which is page number 5. Let us assume I'm an ECE student, right? So I'm an ECE student. I have opted for honors. So C0 bucket anyways is one single course and it is a yes for my branch. So I will opt for social immersive learning. C1 bucket, what is there for ECE? Look at ECE. There are 3 courses listed for ECE. What are the 3 courses listed for ECE? Electronic system design in regular mode, electronic system design in advanced mode, electronic system design in experiential learning mode. And Y star is given for what all courses? For advanced mode and experiential learning mode, Y star is given. Mentioning that it is strongly recommended for an honors student to take this course, electronic system design, either in advanced mode or in experiential learning mode. Right? Is that clear? So depending on your major flexibility, you would here the recommendations are already given to you. We have given 2 recommendations. You can opt any one of them. So you can either pick an advanced mode or an experiential learning mode. Is it wrong to pick a regular mode? It is not wrong to pick a regular mode. Why is it not wrong to pick a regular mode? Because Y is already there, but it is not strongly recommended. What is strongly recommended? The A mode and the E mode are strongly recommended. Can you take both? No, you have to pick only one course from each bucket. All right. So that's with the C1 bucket. Let us also quickly check with other major flexibilities. Let us talk about honors through experiential learning. So here in honors through experiential learning, let us assume I'm an ACE student, right? So if let us say I'm a CSE student. So now for C1 bucket, what are all given to me in C1 bucket? C0 bucket, I anyways will take social immersive learning. C1 bucket, what do I take? What are all recommended for me? See, in C1 bucket, there are many Ys and one Y star. Y star is there for Linux administration and automation in the experiential learning mode. That's strongly recommended. But other than that, can you take any other courses? Yes, anything that is there as a Y you can take, but Y star is strongly recommended. What happens if I don't take a Y star and take a course which has got a Y? If I take a course which has got a Y, there is nothing wrong. Only thing is you are not progressing at a faster pace towards your major flexibility. So if you are an experiential learning student, you have to progress fast towards your targets, right? So that's why Y star is always the recommended one. If Y star is not something that you seriously don't want to do, then take a Y. But you should have a reason why you're picking a Y instead of a Y star. All right. So that's for experiential learning students. Let's quickly get into innovation students. C1 bucket. See, innovation students here, let us assume I'm a CSE student. I'm a HTI student, innovation, honors to innovation student. For C0 bucket, I anyways have to take it. There are no choices. C1 bucket, yes is given for many of them, but there is no Y star. What do you mean by there is no Y star? That means there is nothing which is strongly recommended. So you can pick any of the Ys. You pick any of the Ys, and now the question is, if there are so many Ys, which one do I pick? Which one do you pick is make sure you pick a course which is closer to your innovative idea that you have. Based on that, you take the course. Some people probably might be thinking about an innovative idea related to the IoT project that they have already done in the first year. They had some innovative idea about it. They wanted to extend that. So they would probably go and do IoT hardware programming, right? Someone might have thought about a electronic device to be built as an innovative idea. So such people will go and pick electronic system design course. Some people are working on software and they wanted to build a software application. Then they would go ahead and do a Linux administration and automation course. Someone wants to do something related to medical field. CSE student in the HTI, they wanted to do something related to medical field, they can pick medical lab technology, right? Is that clear? So wherever there is a Y, you can choose those. If there is no Y star, don't panic. That means there is nothing that is strongly recommended. You can pick any of those where there is a Y. Now the question is, wherever there is not even a Y, if it is empty, what should I do? You should not pick it, right? Wherever it is empty, make sure you do not pick that. All right. Now, since so many options are there in C1, can I do two courses from C1? That's a strict no. You have to do a single course from each course bucket. All right. Is that clear? Now, let's also quickly look at the honors through research students. Page number 14. So here for honors through research students, if I'm a CSE student, honors through research, then C1 bucket, I have got many options, but out of those, I have two Y stars. One is Linux administration automation in advanced mode and Linux administration automation in experiential learning mode. So I can pick any of them. So experiential learning courses do not have to be done only by HTE students. Others also can do if there is a Y or a Y star given against it. All right. If there is nothing given against any course, you should not do it. If a Y star is given, you must strive to do it. That is because it is strongly recommended. If it is a Y, it is all right. It is all right, but you need a bit of counseling because we need to see how you're progressing with your targets. All right. So that's what C1 bucket. C2 bucket is a bucket full of mathematics related courses. Again, check whether your department has got one of the student is asking me, sir, in C1 bucket, if I pick only one course, many of the other courses are left out. So can I do them in the next semester? In the next semester, you may have different recommendations or you may have same recommendations. So if you have same recommendations, you can do the next semester, right? That's where I'll go to the C2 bucket. C2 bucket usually is all full of mathematics courses, and every branch student must take a mathematics course. So which mathematics courses can you take? Recommendations are given to you there, right? Ys are given to you there. So you have to pick wherever there is a Y given to you. If you see more than one course as a Y, right? Let's quickly look at honor students. Honor students C2 bucket. If I'm a CSE student or a CSIT student, there is a Y here for three courses. Which three courses? Theory of computation, probability statistics and queuing theory, mathematical programming, right? So three courses are there with a Y. So pick the one that you're more interested to do now. And as someone has asked me a question, what if I want to do the other course also? You can do that in the next semester if those courses are offered. Okay. Usually what we do is we give a mix and match. So semester two courses are also, some of those courses are offered in semester one. And semester one courses are also, some of them are offered in semester two. So students can decide on, okay, this course, let me do it in second year, first semester. And this course, let me do it in second year, second semester. While my friend might choose the other way around. My friend might choose to do the second semester course, which I thought of doing in second semester, to be done in the first semester, right? I strongly say students not to post any questions now. Otherwise, I'll have to disable the chat. Listen to the conversation carefully without asking any questions. Once I clarify, once I finish my presentation, then I'll give you time to ask questions. No questions meanwhile. All right. So let's quickly look at the example of C2 bucket. When I look at C2 bucket, if I'm a CSIT student, I could see that theory of computation is a yes for me, probability statistics and queuing theory is a yes for me, mathematical programming is a yes for me. So can I pick all three in this semester? No. The rule is from each bucket, pick only one course. But then I wish to do two courses, probability statistics and queuing theory and mathematical programming. Both of them look interesting for me. Which one do I pick? Right? Do a bit of research on what is there in each of these courses. I'll also tell you how to look at the syllabus of these courses. But as of now, do a bit of research by yourself on what are these course titles and see which one is more interesting for you for the future. Always pick that first, right? The second one you can always pick when it is offered in the next semester. Okay. So if I have to choose between probability statistics and queuing theory and mathematical programming, then if I'm someone who is more interested in networks, communications related courses, then I probably would pick probability statistics and queuing theory, right? If I'm someone who's interested in cryptography, or if I'm interested in AI related courses, then I would pick mathematical programming. If I'm someone who is more interested in algorithms, I'm more interested in coding, then I would pick theory of computation. All right. So that is how you pick these courses. But you should remember you can only pick one course from each bucket. Okay. And you'll also observe that all the maths related courses, basic science courses, these are all BSc category. Do you see that category in the second column? BSc courses, basic science courses, they're all offered only in the regular mode. There is no advanced or experiential learning mode for these courses. Okay. So that's your C2 bucket. Let's now move on to C3 bucket. C3 bucket is a bucket which has got core courses. C4 also is a bucket which has got core courses, right? So let's quickly start talking about C3 and C4. The rules are the same. Go to the page which is for your major flexibility. Then look at your major program. See where is a Y or a Y star for you and pick the Y star as a first choice. If there is no Y star, pick a Y, right? If there is no Y star given, like if you look at C3 and I'm looking now for honored students, if I'm a ECE student, then or an IoT student, then I have three Ys there: IoT system design in regular mode, advanced mode, experiential learning mode. So I can pick any of those depending on what my interest is, right? So if I do an advanced mode or an experiential learning mode, I am getting two more credits. Did you observe that the credits are slightly more for advanced and experiential learning mode? While regular course has got 4 credits, advanced course has got 6 credits, the experiential learning mode has got 6 credits, right? So as you have these courses, as you do courses in advanced experiential mode, you get 2 more credits. And those 2 more credits like that, when you accumulate, you actually get those 20 extra credits for your honors degree. Okay. So that's the C3 bucket. So if I'm a CSE student, how do I choose the C3 bucket? I could see more yeses here. Yes for operating systems, yes for database management systems. So which one do I do now? I'll have to choose one: operating systems or database management systems. In that also, I have to choose one mode. Which mode? Advanced mode or experiential learning mode, depending on what my interest is. Okay. So that's your C3 and C4 buckets. Similarly, C5 bucket. C5 bucket is a bucket of, again, core courses which also have a skill component, right? So there is a skill component for the C5 bucket. So when you go through the C5 bucket, there are few recommendations given to you in terms of Y stars. You can make sure you follow those recommendations with Y star. So one thing that you should blindly remember is if there is a Y star given to you, pick that course. If there is more than one Y star given to you, make sure you make a choice and pick one of those courses. If there are no Y stars, if there is a Y, pick one of the courses. If there is nothing, you should not do that course, right? That's the rule. That's the rule in terms of Y, Y star, and blank. What is the rule in terms of the buckets? From each bucket, pick one single course. You should not pick more than one course from any given bucket. All right. So same applies for the C6. Now let's quickly look at C6 bucket. C6 bucket, I'll give you a little example. C6 bucket, I am now looking at regular. If I'm a CSE student, I'm a regular student, C6 bucket, I see that there are no recommendations at all. For entire CSC and CSIT, it is all kept empty. So then what should I do? If there is a bucket of courses where there is nothing given, none of the courses given as a yes, that means I do not have to take that bucket of courses, right? So if there is no why mentioned to you, you do not have to take that bucket of courses. That's for regular students. But the same may not apply for honors students. Look at honors students, C6 bucket. Yes, there are few recommendations. You have to take. A Y star is given for processors and controllers. But if processors and controllers is already something that you have done in the summer acceleration, then you can go ahead and do embedded systems design. Without doing processors and controllers, you should not do embedded systems design. All right. So go with the Y star and the Y rules. Okay. Let's also quickly look at honors through experiential learning students for C6 bucket. Honors through experiential learning students for C6 bucket. There is a Y star given for Python full stack development or MERN stack web development. Fantastic courses. You must choose one of those and do them for CSC, right? For other departments, honors through experiential learning, we have given you other courses where with a Y we have given you choose those courses. All right. Same is the case with honors through innovation students. Let's quickly look at C6 bucket. There is a Y star given for C6 students in honors through innovation, entrepreneurial technology development and prototyping. Again, a fantastic course. It's a Y star. So when there is a Y star, do not think twice. Ensure you pick that course. Honors through research students, C6 bucket. There is a Y star given for research methodology, ethics, and scientific writing. So it's a Y star course. You should not think twice. Pick it up, right? The same applies for C7. C7 bucket. If a recommendation is given, pick the course. If there is no recommendation given, you need not pick the course, right? So C7 bucket, let's quickly look at for let's suppose I am an honors through experiential learning student and then C7 bucket. Oh, it says if I'm an honors through experiential learning student, then I should not take innovation management. I should take one of the foreign languages, right? So the foreign languages are given to me here. All right. And then if I'm a C8, in the C8 bucket, experiential learning students, as of now, there is no mention of any sports that is given to you. You will be given those in the next semester. Okay. So these are all the 9 buckets of courses for each of you. right? Let us now quickly look at the guidelines for registration. So here are the guidelines for registration. Let me zoom in and show you. So what do these guidelines tell you? Now, these guidelines tell you that you must opt for a cluster. This is a new word. What is this cluster? You must understand that in your second year, you have three clusters in total: cluster 1, cluster 2, cluster 3. You must choose any one cluster out of these three, and all courses must be chosen from the same cluster. How do I know if a course is from cluster 1 or cluster 2 or cluster 3? How do I know if a section is from cluster 1 or cluster 2? If I choose, which section should I choose for cluster 2? How do I know that? We usually gave a nomenclature. Any section that starts with a 2 belongs to cluster 2. Any section that starts with a 3 belongs to cluster 3. Any section that starts with a 1 belongs to cluster 1. So section 1, 1, which cluster does it belong to? Cluster 1. Section 2, 1, which cluster does that belong to? Cluster 2, because it starts with a 2. Cluster 3, 2, section 3, 2, which cluster does that section belong to? Cluster 3, right? So the rule is, first choose a cluster. I ask students to not post questions. So do not post questions. I'll give you time. First choose which cluster you want to be in, cluster 1 or cluster 2 or cluster 3. And every course from every bucket that you choose, there are 9 buckets. So every course from all the 9 buckets that you choose, they must be in the same cluster, right? Otherwise, your timetable will clash and you will not be able to study. So if I choose C1 bucket in cluster 1, then C2 bucket also have to choose in cluster 1, C3 bucket course also have to choose in cluster 1, C4 bucket also have to choose in cluster 1, and so on, right? That's the first rule. So make a choice of a cluster and remain in that cluster for all the courses. That's rule number 1. Rule number 2, from any given bucket, select only one course. I already told you that. That's a rule that you must obey. Rule number 3, must take a Y-star mentioned course from each bucket for better progress towards major flexibility, right? So if there's a Y-star given to you in a particular bucket, you must opt for it. That will help you progress better. If Y-star course is not available, then take a Y course from that bucket. If a course is given as empty, neither a Y star nor a Y for your major, then you should not choose a course, right? So that's rules 3, 4, and 5. Sixth rule, last date to add a course. If you want to add an additional course, say suppose you want to do one more course, right? Say suppose all my friends are taking foreign language, I also want to do a foreign language. All my friends are taking honors course, so let me also take an honors course, even if I'm a regular student, right? So it's all up to you. There is no restriction that regular students should only take regular courses. There is no such restriction, right? You can take an advanced course, or you can take an exclusive course for getting an honors degree, like C6 bucket. It was given as empty for regular students. But say, suppose you want to do it, then you have a deadline in order to add courses like that. So 20th July is a deadline to make any corrections in your registration or to add any courses to your registration, right? Rule number 7. After I add all these courses, I'll get into the courses, I'll sit for the courses. If I find that, oh, these courses are slightly difficult, right? Slightly difficult. Then I can drop some of the courses, and the deadline to drop the course is 27th July 2024. Okay, 27th July 2024. Right? So to drop courses, 27 July 2024 is the last date. Can I drop many courses when I register in a regular semester? You will be at risk if you drop too many courses because your duration of study may go beyond 4 years. So you need to be slightly cautious when you drop courses. The last rule is student is responsible for all courses registered in ERP and must ensure that the registration is error free and timetable is clash free. You cannot register in courses where you have a clash in the timetable. You cannot have errors in your registration, right? Say, suppose you picked up one course instead of another course where it was not given as a Y for you, right? Then that's an error. So ensure that you will have to, right? So make sure your registration is error free, your timetables are clash free, and you are registering appropriately whenever the registrations are open tomorrow. Okay, these are the rules for the registration process. Now the question is, some of you are asking me that I don't see any cluster number here, or I don't even see section numbers in this document, right? This document is only about the list of courses. Neither did we mention any clusters nor any sections, right? Neither any clusters nor any sections. Now, where do I see all that data? How do I see all that data, right? Now, there is a portal that we have. So once this file is clear, any questions in this file? Otherwise, I will stop sharing this file and I will move on to another platform. I'll get back to your questions. So let me stop sharing. Let me share. All right. You're all now looking at my shared screen, and you will observe that I am accessing a portal called academics.klef.in. This is a different portal from the one that you have access till now, that is portal.klef.in. There are two separate portals, portal.klef.in and academics.klef.in. I am now talking about academics.klef.in. So once you go in here, your username is your student ID. As an example, I am logging in on behalf of one of the students. So if you have trouble logging into this portal, you can always reset your password. An email will come to your right. An email will come to your Kale University email ID. You can reset your password. And when you access as a student, you will observe here that in faculty course allocation, right? There is something called as faculty course allocation on the left menu. You look at cluster template and course schedule. So let's start with cluster template. When you start with cluster template, you can get into your program. What is your major program? The branch that you are in, right? So if I'm a computer science and engineering student, then I click on computer science and engineering, and that is my program. So computer science and engineering and academic year, odd semester, which regulation? You're a Y23 student. So cluster one, there are only three clusters for you. So that's cluster one. Okay. Timetable team is cluster is loading. It will take time to load that. Okay. So it'll take a time, it'll take a bit of time to load. So this is where you will see the cluster template. So cluster one, what is the timetable looking like on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and so on, right? Cluster two, what is the timetable looking on Monday, Tuesday? If it is taking too long a time to load, what I'll do is I will take a snapshot of this and share it with you all, right? So that you can look at the templates easily, right? So a template is given to you in this cluster template option. Now you can go into the course schedule option. So, all right. Um, Course schedule option. So here 2024-25 odd semester. Say suppose you have already chosen a course. See, this will have courses from final year, second year, third year, many years courses will be there. So that's a whole list. You can't go through that whole list. You'll panic if you look into the complete list. So whatever course that you chose from the PDF file, say suppose you chose operating systems course. So here search for operating systems course, right? You'll see that there are three courses called as operating systems with the course codes that are mentioned in that PDF file. The advanced experiential learning mode and R mode are given here, right? And look at their schedule. Advanced, open the schedule. You will observe that in the schedule, the section numbers and the whether it is lecture, practical, or skill, and who are the faculty, right? Who, if it is lecture, then A faculty is the main faculty. Practical, I will have two, three faculty, right? For each practical. So A faculty, B faculty, C faculty, right? So uh, these are the details of who the lectures are. So how do I quickly understand this? Look at this. I searched for operating systems course. I wanted to look at the advanced mode. I click on schedule and then I observe that S11 section lecture is taken by Dr. B. Tirupati Reddy. S12 section lecture is taken by M. Vishnuvardhan, right? S11 section lecture is taken by Dr. B. Tirupati Reddy. That's again S11 itself, but in another time slot, right? So that will obviously be Dr. B. Tirupati Reddy. S12 practical is also taken care by M. Vishnuvardhan. So see, if you look at the section numbers, you will observe that there are section numbers which start with 1, there are section numbers which start with 2, there are section numbers which start with 3, right? So S22 section, which cluster does it belong to? It belongs to cluster 2. So who are all handling courses in S22? S22 lecture is handled by, let's quickly see here. S22 lecture is handled by K. Venkateshwar Rao, right? S22 practicals are handled by whom? Practical A faculty is K. Venkateshwar Rao, B faculty is M. Mahesh, C faculty is Krishna, right? So that is for S22 section. So here the section numbers and the faculty for lectures, practical, they're all given. And how do I know which section is which cluster? The rule is again very simple. If the sections start with 1, that means it is cluster 1. If the sections start with 2, that means it's cluster 2. If the sections start with 3, that means it is cluster 3. So S32, which cluster is it? Cluster 3. S20, to which cluster is it? Cluster 2. S12, which cluster is it? Cluster 1, right? So starting off the section, that is immediately after S, whatever number you see, right? Right after S, whatever number you see, that is the cluster. So after S in 12, what is the digit? 1. So it is cluster 1. All right. Is that clear, everyone? So this is how you need to look at the faculty allocation, and the course template will also be available. The course templates will also be available. So you can look at the course templates. The course template will show you for cluster 1, you choose the cluster here, cluster 1, cluster 2, and so on. So when you choose the cluster, it will show you a timetable for that cluster. So which hour, which courses are there, and so on, right? So I think as of now, the timetable team is still working on it. So it should be available probably in an hour or so. Worst case, look at it early tomorrow morning, right? So early tomorrow morning, if you look at it, you will see what is the schedule for cluster 1, what is the schedule for cluster 2, what is the schedule for cluster 3. Now, how do I choose how do I make a decision of which cluster do I choose, cluster 1 or cluster 2 or cluster 3? A lot of students, what they do is they look at when there is a week off. When there is a week off for cluster 1, when there is a week off for cluster 2, when there is a week off for cluster 3. So how do I know when there is a week off? When there are no courses scheduled on that day. So based on that, they will take a call, majority of the students, right? So some students, if they have done acceleration, they'll see which date their acceleration courses have fallen, and they'll also take a decision based on that. Okay. So these are the two options that you need to look at: cluster template and course schedule. So if you look at these two details, you will know which cluster, which section, who is handling it, which faculty is handling it, and how do you make a choice of the courses from the PDF file that I shared with you. That is how you make a choice for the courses. Okay. So that's with the entire presentation for today. Let's now quickly get into the question answer sessions. All right, start shooting questions. Send me questions now. Right, one of the student has asked me, so what is the maximum number of credits that I can register in a semester? The maximum number of credits, maximum number is 32, but the recommended is only 30. Right, do not go to that 32. 32 will still allow 32. On paper, it is 32, but I recommend you to confine to about 30, right? And 32 is only for those students who are either doing an honors or honors through experiential learning or honors through innovation or honors through research. So if you wish to be only in regular, if that is what your major flexibility is, then you will end up only having about 24 credits or so, right? Not more than that. The additional credits are something which honors students would do. And so with those additional credits, you can reach up to 32 in a semester. Right. One of the student is asking me, sir, if I'm a honors through experiential learning student, how many advanced or experiential learning courses can I take? Maximum, I would recommend you to go till about 2 advanced courses or 1 advanced course or 1 experiential learning course, right? Not more than that. Don't go more than that. That's the reason why I'm asking you not to go more than that, is because there is already one extra course that is being given to you exclusively for HTE or HTI or HTR or honors. Along with that extra course, pick either 1 or 2 courses, either in advanced mode or in experiential learning mode, right? So a usual strategy for a student is 1 full additional course and 1 course in either advanced mode or experiential learning mode. If you're too interested, then probably two courses in either one in advanced, the other in experiential, or both in experiential, or both in advanced. Okay. One of the student is asking me, sir, I'm a regular student. Can I do an advanced course? You can always do an advanced course. There is no restriction, right? Only thing is, how do you use those extra credits? How do you use those extra credits? You have admin access. One second. I think the template is now visible. Let me quickly share once again and show you from my login. From student login, it may take a little while, but let me quickly show it to you from my login. All right. When you try to see, this is my login, you will not see the options like this. But when you actually select the clusters there, this is how you look at 23 regulation, cluster 1. This is how the template is, right? So when you look at this template, you will observe that Saturday looks pretty empty for me, right? So there are only two courses. One is Universal Human Values, not there for me. The other one is Data and Statistical Analysis, again not there for me. So no, in your login, you will not see these particular courses, because since I'm looking from my login, it is showing me all the other courses also. But your login will clearly show one of the days empty, right? And one more thing that you also have to understand is, you will see that there are hours from 3 to 11, right? 3 to 11. But what are these hours from 13 onwards till 24? Don't think that I'm making you study till all 24 hours in a day. That is not what we mean, right? When you study advanced or experiential learning mode, some of the hours are meant for you to self learn, not all of them, right? Only one lecture hour and two practical hours per course, they are meant for you to self learn. So those self learning hours are given later in the day, right? So when you go back home, these are all something that you would do later at your home. Don't think that, see, our timetable is only from 1 to 11. 1 is when starts at 7:10 in the morning. 11 is when that is ending at 5:20, right? So 1 and 2, we did not post any courses as of now, right? So that means you don't have to come in the morning. You will start at number 3 slot. Number 3 is what? 9:20, right? So, and it will go till 11th slot. 11th slot is what? Which ends at 5:20. So this is where your courses are there. Okay. So this is how you will see when you open in your login. So let me now stop sharing my screen. Let me get back to questions. One of the students is asking me, sir, I applied for branch change. You will get it soon, right? Don't worry, you will get it soon. As of now, register in the branch that you're currently in. When there is a branch clearance given to you, you can then move to that. It will be given in a day or two. You can then move into that branch. There is a student who is saying that, sir, I did foreign language last year itself. So what should I do now? I did not complete the exam though. I have my exam scheduled at a later stage because Japanese language, the exam has to be written somewhere else. So what should I do with the C7 bucket? You don't have to study any course in the C7 bucket. If you've already taken Japanese, don't take any course from C7 bucket, right? Coursera fee, is it mandatory for tomorrow's registration? Yes, it is. So Coursera fee for all School of Computing students, CSE, CSIT and AIDS students, it is mandatory for you all to pay before you register. The fee is 6,000 per year or 4,000 per semester. Usually students pay per year so that it is 2,000 lesser, cheaper. So 6,000 per year or 4,000 per semester. And I strongly recommend that you pay for it because it is one of the very strong advantages you get out of the Coursera fee, right? There are a lot of courses from well-known industries and international universities which you can map to your courses and study. Okay. I know it's an extra fee. I know it sometimes can be difficult, but to gain something stronger, this sometimes these pens are worth. Right. One of the student is saying, sir, I have done one of the courses in one of the buckets in my acceleration. Now, what should I do? If you see other course in the same bucket which you did not complete in acceleration, you should pick that. You should not keep it empty. If there is no other course in that bucket, then you can leave it empty. Right? Did you understand that question? If there is a if there is a bucket from which I've already done one course in the acceleration, what should I do now? Let me start choosing the other course, right? See, all these courses you have to do someday or the other. So it's better I choose the other course from the same bucket rather than keeping that empty. If there are no other courses, then you may not take that bucket at all. Uh, so two courses in advanced mode, I said is the recommended. I mean, two courses is the maximum that you can take either in advanced or experiential learning or in combination. Obviously, in two separate buckets only, right? You cannot never ever choose two courses, more than one course from a single bucket, right? Someone is asking me, can I move from honors to honors through experiential learning? Can I move from H to HTE? Um, Not now. You cannot move now. This year we have frozen which department you belong to. So no changes will be done now. You may take those courses. You may look at what honors to experiential learning students require. You may take those courses and do them. We will only move you in the next year. Okay. Also, one of the student is saying, sir, I've taken honors through innovation. Can I move to honors through experiential learning? Not now, but you can always take the courses in that fashion. Yeah, one of the student is asking me, HTI and HTR don't have language courses. Can we still do them? We purposefully did not give you language courses now because it is important that you focus on your innovation and research in the beginning. Once you get used to it, once you start setting your targets, your deadlines, then you can start doing your foreign language course. That's the reason why we did not ask you to choose a language course. Okay. But if you still wish to do, I personally don't recommend, but if you still are very much craving to do that, you can go ahead and do it. Right. What if you're not assigned a counselor? Your departments have assigned counselors to you all. They will get in touch with you all. If there is no counselor mapped, I will also be available completely during the registrations. Send me a message on Telegram. I will um, immediately follow up with your department and ask them to get in touch with you. Okay. Right. One of the student is asking, sir, what is O mode for artificial intelligence and machine learning for honors? See, O mode is usually artificial intelligence and machine learning course is a course for AIDS students. That is their core course. So while those students study that core course in RAE mode, all other departments will study that course in O mode. O stands for other. I completed a course in C1 bucket in acceleration. Can I do another course in the same bucket? Yes, you should do another course in the same bucket. All right. Some of the students are asking me, sir, in second year, can I take peer mentoring? There is no peer mentoring, unfortunately, for your batch. There is the concept of peer mentoring, but it is implemented in a different way. We will get back to you on that soon, right? As of now, there is no peer mentoring. Students who wanted to be peer mentors, they are recommended to take courses in experiential learning mode. One of the students is asking me, sir, can I get a faculty list? Yes, you can get a faculty list, but you need to search for specific course, right? So I have shown you how to search for specific course. So first make a choice of your course, then search for the course and see how the faculty allocation is given, right? Is Coursera mandatory for biotechnology students? No, not mandatory for biotech students. It is mandatory for School of Computing students. That is CSE, CSIT, and AIDS students. It is optional for biotechnology students. One of the students is saying, I'm a regular student. Is it possible for me to get an honors degree? Then, if possible, how do I get it? I need to look at what is your CGPA and what are your backlogs. But if you're eligible in all those means, you can always aim for an honors degree. The way you have to do that is take courses just the way how honors students take it. Okay. HTR students, can they take sports and foreign languages just like other people, irrespective of the branch? Yes, of course. If it is not recommended, we purposefully did not recommend this semester because we want you to start working on your research targets with your research mentors. But if you're very keen in taking them, you can take them just like any other students. Is it mandatory to do 32 credits for HTI or HTE students? It is not mandatory. But if you do them, you will clear your targets of completing 20 credits sooner. You don't have to do all 32 credits. 32 is the maximum credit count. Someone is saying MERN-stack web development is in C6. It is showing E mode. Can I take it instead of operating systems? Operating systems is in a different bucket. MERN-stack web development is in a different bucket. So you cannot compare two courses from two different buckets. If they are in the same bucket, then yes, you can choose one over the other. But if they are not in two different buckets, you cannot choose them. All right, I think that's all for the questions. I think I've clarified most of the questions. So what I'll also do is I'll be available on Microsoft Teams tonight uh, till late in the night. So you can always join me and ask questions personally. Um, you can also, I mean, if you have any doubts, you can watch that YouTube link again. That's a link that will be available. and I'll also be available on Microsoft Teams. I'll put up that Teams link in the Telegram group, the official Dean Academics Office Telegram group, and you can access that link and you can talk to me in person. Um, for most of the night. I'll be awake for almost the entire night, except for a little early in the morning. But otherwise, I'll be available so you can ask your questions in person. I'll be available on Microsoft Teams from 10 o'clock tonight. Okay. So with that, let's wind up. Good night, everyone. Ensure that you're registering accurately into your second year, first semester. All the best, everybody.